Hello and welcome to episode 4 of Making Towns. I'm your host, Bobby Davies. In this episode, my guest is Jaden Williams. Now, Jaden very kindly agreed to do this episode as a pilot before I filmed anything else. But Jaden has a very interesting story through pro wrestling, so I thought, let's put this one out there as an official episode and you can all hear Jaden's story. So that's enough of me chatting. Let's get to it. Let's talk to Jaden Williams. Jaden Williams, where are we going?
We are going to Shoebury in the South End for WrestleForce.
What's your match today? Come on.
My match.
Break it down.
I am teaming up with twin Kian Camron, and we're heading off 1-on-1, not 1-on-1, 2-on-2 versus Mark True and Kieran Lacey for the WrestleForce Tag Team Championships. Second time round. The difference this time, there is no disqualifications. And let me tell you, I'm going to do something that I ain't never done before. Thank Lord it is no disqualification, because what I'm going to do may not be legal. But hey, we're going to see what happens. And trust me, Mark, Kieran, if you're listening to this, I don't know how you are currently, but I am apologizing now for making your suitcases lighter when we take them titles away.
Yeah. Speaking of the first time round, you had a little incident, didn't you, at the end of the match?
Oh my Lord, it was terrible. It was going so well. It was going so great. And what happened? Yeah, I go back in the ring, I turn around, and I take a massive, am I allowed to swear?
Yeah.
I take a fucking title shot to the head. Literally, I got a title shot, literally and physically, and it was incredible. And you know, wrestling, you want to protect yourself, go as long as you want. So I'm doing this, right? I put up my right hand, okay, and I'm trying to make sure I go on, because I got uni the next week. But for some reason, I must have sort of expressed, and I went because my pinky finger got caught on the edge of the belt, on the sharper bit of the metal of the belt, and it resulted in just blood just coming out everywhere. And I was so clueless at first, because I was kind of just trying to lay there on the mat, and I just see blood in the ring. I'm like, who the fuck is bleeding? Because I know I'm not bleeding. Right? And I look and I see drops coming from my finger. I'm like, why is my hand covered in blood? Because, you know, the adrenaline's all rushing. So I actually don't know, what's going on. I don't know, is it me? Have I touched something? I don't know. So I'm just trying to work out where the blood's coming from. So I'm a little curious. So I start sucking my fingers, trying to find which one's got the blood. I'm just working my way through. And then once I get to this one, it gets my pinky here, I suck on it. Pause. I go through, and then the moment I go like this, it goes red seconds after, and I'm like, you kidding? It's this one. And now all the blood's going over my chest. I'm smearing it over my face. So on video, it looks incredible, because it looks like I've legit been bashed open. Commentators are saying the same thing, oh look, he's bleeding now. Everyone's panicking. We go back through the curtain. I'm fine. I'm all well. And then it's about 5-10 minutes later, the tingling starts coming in. I start shaking and stuff, and that was fine. Genuinely, I was okay. And then the next day, my finger just swole up massively. Oh, this is a nice light. My finger swole up massively, and then again, I had to take a training session at DKW, so I couldn't really be oh no, I'm injured. Plus, it was a finger, so I didn't think much of it. Then I noticed when I got home that day, I was like, I can't bend my finger. I can't bend my finger now. What do I do? Do I go to hospital? Nah, I ain't got time, right?
Wrestler,
yeah. So I make my own homemade splint with the wrist tape that I use. And I just keep that in there for a week when I'm at uni, which is a struggle because I'm left-handed. So I'm just sitting there. I'm like, look, my writing's terrible. Can you just do it for me? Thankfully, I get to type nowadays because, third year stuff. And that actually wasn't the only injury either. I had a second injury, but I kept that on the down low because I wanted to keep my bookings. But basically, in that same match, I done my elbow in. But
jeez.
Yeah, no. I didn't want to go to hospital about it. I refused, and then I was in class on Thursday, and I was leaning on my desk a lot, and my elbow was killing. And I was like, right, well, okay, it's nothing, right? I go back home, and from the top half of my forearm all the way up to my elbow, it is swollen. And I'm like, right, maybe I should go to hospital now. Shit. So I tell my nan, she's like, I'm like, Nan, something's happened. She's like, you need to go to hospital. I'm like, okay. So I get myself down there. And this is a week after the incident. Like, I should have just got it done when it happened, but it wasn't that big at the time.
Well, it would have been better after a week.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I mean, you'd think that. I was like, I've had...
No, but I mean, if you'd like iced it and stuff and gone to the hospital.
Oh, yeah, no, literally, I was just like, it'll be fine. Because I've had elbow injuries before, and usually they go down quite quickly. But back then I was 15, now I'm like 21, so, you know, injuries don't calm the fuck down like they used to. So I go to hospital. And they look at it and I'm like, okay, cool, we need to give you an x-ray. And I was really panicking because I was like, if it's broken, I'm still going to wrestle.
You're fucking mad, man.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
Every other wrestler I've ever met, you're insane.
Yeah, so, you know, I go and they give me an x-ray and they're like, you're fine. So I was like, great, that's cool. And there was still something there, and it was just... it was bursitis, basically. So I basically just hit my elbow really, really hard. Whether that was just like, you know, doing the red arrow at the end, whether it was just hitting it on the floor, I don't know.
Is that just like, does it fill with fluid? Is that the...
Yeah, that's basically what it was. Like, it wasn't blood, it was nothing, it was just fluid. You know, it was just a fall, and it was just on the end of my elbow. And I was like, okay, cool. Well, what do I do? Because I want to work out, but I can't work out. You know, I can't really move my elbow much because it hurts. And I can't
get that Steve Austin staph infection.
Yeah, I can't put compression on it. I can't really do much about it. So I'm like, okay, cool. That's great. So you know, they gave me antibiotics to start off with, and I was like, cool, okay. And they're like, right, well, if it doesn't go down after you've taken the course of this, go back to your GP in a week. So I go through with it. I wrestle a match on them, and this was like 2 weeks after. That match, the title match. I felt really out of shape during that match, but I made it through, and I think I hit my elbow again during that match. And again, I go see my mum the next day, and she's like, "Oh, look, it's fucking swollen again. It's swollen." I'm like, no, it's not. It's the same as it was. Like, you know, obviously it didn't go down. Went to GP next week, and they're like, "Oh, we gave you the wrong ones. We were meant to give you anti-inflammatories." Oh, well, thank you. You know, so I've just been on pointless shit for like a week. But it was essentially to bring down infections.
But you didn't have?
Yeah, there was no infection. Well, they said it was infected, so that's why they gave it. But I needed anti-inflammatories to actually bring it down. Yeah, I was fuming. I was just like, come on now. And so now I'm on these inflammatories, which was worse because what they gave me was naproxen, which apparently has a very, very strong side effects for your stomach, and it can give you heartburn apparently. So I was like, okay, cool, that's great. So I also had to get another prescription for like something about stomach lining that I'd take first thing in the day. And so eating was terrible, and I was just so nervous that every time I'd eat one, I'm like, oh shit, am I going to get heartburn? Like, is this it? But again, it weren't going down. But I wrestled UKPW on that November 3rd. And, you know, I had Tommy Tanner, you know, absolute geezer. And in that match, I took a drop kick. I bumped on my elbow. I'm like, oh, that was a bit painful. All right, we'll carry on like nothing happened. Walk through the curtain after the match, and I'm feeling my elbow. I'm like, where is it? Like the bump's just, it's not there anymore.
Falling off.
Yeah, I'm like, has it moved? Like, where's it up? And then essentially, long story short, it burst, and it wasn't even. Yeah, I was nervous because I was like, what the fuck's going to happen now?
I just feel sorry for the people using the ring after you.
No, it didn't splatter. Thankfully, it only splattered inside.
Okay.
Thank heavens. All right, and I was also wearing a compression sleeve just in case it were to open up. But I mean, it went down, and I mean, it's still a little iffy now, but obviously I can wrestle on it, and there isn't any problem, and I'm back at the gym regularly. So that's the story of what happened at the previous match, and I'm getting my lick back. I'm getting my lick back for it. That's it.
I filmed that match.
It was,
and you touched your face and your chest as well, and I just look at it again. I don't know where he's bleeding from, bro. Like, he's bleeding from somewhere.
I was so confused, and it was just dropping like constantly. Like, I couldn't stop it at all, and it was just dripping everywhere. And it was all over my shorts, all over my chest. I'm like, well, what do I do? You know. It was just...
Luckily, it was the end spot, right? So.
Oh my goodness! You know, I mean, I'd rather it be the end spot because I didn't want there to be like blood just like splattered everywhere. And were
you the main event as well? You were, right?
No, actually, we were first half. So someone had to get in there and clean up the ring. Clean up the blood, yeah. Like
classic Ollie Peace with his flash broom.
You know how bad I felt? Like, that's what I was more worried about. That's the reason why I immediately moved my hand. Because the moment I saw blood in the ring, I'm like, shit, this is all these new canvas. He's going to get pissed. And I'm like, I'd rather it go over me than it goes over, like, the canvas. Because there's other matches of more importance,
Yeah.
i.e. the literal main event, and they do not want to be wrestling my blood. So, that was the way it is. But sorry, Ollie, for the canvas, and I'll you can take it out my expenses. I don't know.
But the whole idea behind this podcast / show that I don't really know I'm going to put yet, YouTube and probably Spotify, is we're going to talk about like being on the road as a wrestler and getting about and kind of what that entails, as well as more aspects of your career a bit later on. So first and foremost, you obviously don't drive because I'm giving you a lift.
Yeah, thank you.
You got any plans to drive yourself?
Oh my. If lockdown never happened, I'd be swerving everywhere. I mean, you have to understand, I was a passionate boy in sixth form, and I had a highway code booking class. Like, I'd be doing my free periods, looking at the highway code. I have a driving test app on my phone, and then, lockdown happens. So I just said to myself, okay, I'll give it 3 weeks, and then I'll look at some lessons. Obviously, 4 years later, I was just like, you know what, I go to university in London, I take public transport. Driving has emission charges now. So I was like, you know what, there's no point. I'm not in a desperate rush. It's usually when I go out places like here, like I go out places like Essex and out of London, but I'm usually a London boy, so I don't really tend to go out much.
You wrestlers who don't drive, fucking, it's a madness to me. I'm speaking specifically about Sky Smitson and fucking Michael Oku. They get bookings all over the place, and neither of those two drive.
Good Lord. I did not know that. I did not know neither of them drive. Shit.
So who do you normally get rides with? Who's your... Or do you get the train with?
It really varies on the show. Normally when I travel like by train, I'm usually flying solo because I love the vibes, and it gives me more time to kind of like think, what am I going to do at this show today? What shall I do at this show today? Whether I'm face or heel. But if I'm driving, well, not me obviously, but if I'm catching a ride, I think my usual go-tos are Danny James from Dropkicks. I believe he's the co-promoter of Dropkicks. I'm not too sure. I usually get a lot of rides with him, heading to shows for DKW, and sometimes I'll get Andy from WrestleForce to take me some shows.
Andy Peace.
Yeah. Depending how far we're going, he's always a good ride. And then also also Mark True and his dad, if I ever get the time.
Oh, I love the Trues.
Honestly, they're the best. They're one of the best ones for me.
Ian True, big up to Ian True.
Genuinely.
What's your preferred jams when you're traveling about?
My. I
not got Heart of a Warrior on repeat, have you?
Oh Lord. I prefer. I'm usually a guy who keeps himself to himself. So me just having music on my headphones is enough. But if we're all jamming to music, then it's got to be a combination of WWE hits, of course, rock hits. This could be anything: Nirvana, Kings of Leon, Kaiser Chiefs, Arctic Monkeys, and a little bit of hip hop and R&B, because R&B is one of my favorite genres.
Nice. That's a nice eclectic mix.
I love it.
I have to ask, go on, WWE songs, wrestling songs, what's your jam?
All right, well, you got to have all the CM Punk hits.
Cult personality. Man.
Yeah, all of them. John Cena, just for the moment, you know what I mean? It'd be lovely.
I forget that you're of an age where like John Cena was your guy, right?
I mean, I got other guys. I was going to bring up Shawn Michaels, but Shawn Michaels is a jam.
He's a sexy boy is what he is.
I wouldn't put Stone Cold on because I feel like that would be a very intense hit.
What about did you ever listen to his Hill version, the Disturbed one?
Oh my god, it's fucking good.
Yeah,
I love that one so much. I think that one I've blasted out, but the other one no, because
not the standard one.
No, I like Disturbed because that shit just goes hard.
You know who my go-to jam is, and it really upsets my wife because she is not a fan, because she's only turned on to wrestling in like the last few years. And she doesn't like him now, but WWE theme, the one by Story of the Year for Christian.
Oh, that is so good!
What a fucking jam! Right?
No, that is brilliant. I had that on repeat on Spotify at one point because I was just listening to it way too fucking much.
What's funny about it is my wife, because he's such a good heel, right?
Hey.
Christian's my boy. Me, JJ Lynch, and Michael Oku are all part. We're a little Christian coalition. We're all big fans. And we all, like David Francisco at David's wedding, come up and found me, Mike, and JJ Lynch in a corner. And what are you talking about? Christian is like, fucking course you but my wife is like, he's so like, she's gets invested, and he's obviously such a heel. But what's really funny is her favourite band as a teenager was Story of the Year.
Oh,
and now she's like, why did they do a theme song for that prick?
they're a good band.
Oh man, yeah. Yeah, she loves them. We saw them at Slam Dunk Festival, and it was like the first time she'd ever got to see them. She didn't get to see them as a teenager. And she was very excited. She had like a heart rate of like 120. We had our mate Matt with us, and he had like a heart rate of 180, but he's got other problems.
Sorry.
So who's got the shit tasting music? Have you been in a car and someone's put on some awful jams? I feel like Andy P's can be excused because he's an older guy. If he's going to put on,
you don't actually play music.
No,
no. I mean, I'm more. I prefer that more than what is the worst taste? Yeah, the worst taste I got as of November, mind you, November 2024, 23rd November. Also, Happy .2 Day if you celebrate that.
Oh, you're a fan, are you? We'll talk about that later.
But yeah, worst tasting music as of now. Lucas Jackson, who from Dropkicks, who plays Christmas music in November.
I'll make sure to tag that.
He's got I've been in the car with him for the last few weeks now, for November, and he's just had on Now That's What I Call Christmas, or Magic Christmas, and I'm just like, okay, I'm fine with one or two, but it's every song, because that's what the radio station does, gives you every song, and I'm like, it's still November, I'm still trying to get over Halloween, but that's currently the worst tasting music. But outside of that, there genuinely isn't much of a bad taste in music. There hasn't been a time where I've been like, oh, turn this off, you know what I mean? So
fair. I mean, the fact that you called someone out is always good, right?
Well, no, he knows. He knows. He loves Christmas music.
The fact that he's a Christmas music guy means he knows. Some people are so blissfully unaware that they've got shit taste. He loves
Christmas music, and he openly admits to loving Christmas music, and we'll be training Christmas music on. Anywhere we go, Christmas music. It's just, some people are passionate about the celebration, but yeah, he's one of them. But it ain't a bad thing. It's just the taste sucks currently. But in December, yeah, you're fine.
Who's got great taste? Anyone else you've been in a car with? You go, oh man, this guy's playlist is, or this girl's playlist is the jam.
I think I was in a car once with Denzel Mack. We were going to training at Woolwich after training at Dropkicks, and he had WWE hits on. We were just I think D-Generation X, just all anything WWE. It was just any random hits, and we're just jamming to all of them. It was beautiful.
By the way, Restings have given me an open invite to come and play their intros game. And
Ooh.
Michael Oku's had their title for that for a long time, and I think I can beat him. So
yeah.
I might tag them in this clip just here. I'll beat Michael Oku. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I believe it.
What's your obviously if you're more of a public transport guy, you got a bit more option actually.
Oh.
So what's your traveling snack if you got to pick up some dinner?
Oh.
What are you going for?
I hate eating I used to eat shit before matches, terribly, because the one time I tried to be healthy at 15, I bought protein bar. I felt sick. I was like, no, my debut match. I'm like, no. So
they're really heavy, man, calorie-wise.
Yeah, so I used to just start eating stuff like squashies and straws, and just anything that you probably shouldn't eat before a wrestling match. But for 15 years old, you need the sugar content to keep you up and running. So that was fine. But now, I would usually get a protein drink or a coffee, or if possible, a protein coffee. I'd get fruit like blueberries or pineapple. If I haven't eaten anything proper, then I'll probably find an M&S and get a gluten-free sandwich of some kind, because I got gluten intolerance. So any kind of sandwich, a chicken fajita, just to get that.
Oh yeah, what's your Sparks meal deal, man? So you get the chicken fajita or a chicken sandwich or something?
Oh,
what you get for your drinking, your little side?
I haven't done that in a long time, because every time I go, last time I got that meal deal was maybe 2 years ago, but I think I got a sandwich. I got a ginger beer, because I love ginger beer, and I also got the dairy milk duo, because I love dairy milk, favorite chocolate.
No, fair, man. I hit up Mark's occasionally. I love their Belgian chocolate covered cashews, man.
Ooh.
They're unreal. But when when we went into hospital when my wife was pregnant,
Yeah.
We spent a week there after my son was born, and there was a Sparks in the hospital, and I used to. I discovered it there. They do apple slices with like a really nice peanut butter.
Ooh.
Fuck me, that's good, man. There's your protein and fruit right there.
No, have you seen them like pepper, like cheeses wrapped in pepperoni?
Oh, they do them as well.
Oh, they're lovely. I love them, but they wouldn't be a pre-wrestling snack because my breath would reek. So not that one.
Have you got what's your pre-match ritual then? I know some people like Colin Mills will always brush his teeth.
Oh,
Match.
Probably a pre-show shit if needed, right? Normally I'm just. I know people listen to music. I know I genuinely just like to. Since coming back, especially, like I just like to go ahead and just maybe stretch a little, mainly my legs because I need them more than anything. Good few press ups if I can get some. I'll ask for sort of like Kian Camron's like resistance bands, and I'll just do a couple of bicep curls, and then I don't get as nervous about matches as I used to, so I'm genuinely quite calm, and I just walk back and forth. And in the moment we go out there, I'm just saying in my mind, all right, well, let's make shit happen. And then out we go.
This is, I suppose this is quite far for you, Southend, from kind of your outer zones, London, right? Zone 3, 4.
Crazy.
Yeah.
It's just...
But how far, what's the furthest you've actually gone for a show?
Oh.
You mentioned UKPW, and I know they're down Kent a lot, right?
I actually worked this out yesterday. I worked out how far I went because I was in America when I started getting back into wrestling.
Oh yeah.
Because I was studying abroad and I was in California.
You studied in California?
Yeah.
That's sick, bro.
Like about 4 months, and then I basically found a wrestling school because the passion kind of grew back like a tree, and I just they immediately wanted me on ring crew within the first week of joining them. So I was like, okay, cool, where are we going? Santa Rosa. Okay, don't sound far. It was fucking 150 miles away. And because
that's America, man.
We had to take a pit stop to like some place called Antioch, and then we went from Antioch all the way up, and the journey was fucking it was wild. So we had to, I was told, okay, at 5:30 you got to wake up, there'll be an Uber waiting for you. Huh? So get in the Uber, we go all the way to Antioch, get off at Antioch, meet our other friends there. Then we drive all the way up to Santa Rosa, and then we're helping with the show.
That's got to be what, a 4-hour journey?
Oh,
longer?
It was like maybe 3-4 hours. Like it was wild. I remember we got to Santa Rosa, we just pulled up to a Taco Bell and just got some food, and then we literally just got to Santa Rosa and set up the ring and everything. It was the whole day. We were there till like 7 p.m. and then I think we stayed around Santa Rosa getting food till about 11, and then we went back. We didn't get back home till about 2. So essentially I was out on the road for about 21 hours.
Jeez,
It was fucking insane.
And without going to Scotland, you ain't getting that here. So, yeah. Or maybe like Northwest, if you go up to say North,
there is the closest I've had in the UK. Furthest I've had in the UK would be, I think, either Bournemouth, which was a pretty far one, or going all the way up to Boston, Lincolnshire, because that was a terrible journey. That was just stuck in traffic. And we go to the show, and we're like, I don't know what it was. I think it was because it was a Friday or a Saturday, I'm not too sure. But we end up being stuck in traffic. The show's already started, and we're meant to be on 3rd. And I'm just like, right, okay, are we going to make it on time? And I'm still a few months into my wrestling career, so I'm panicking because I'm like, what do? We get to the venue 15 minutes before we're meant to be on and do a fatal 4-way match. I was shitting bricks. Who was in that match? I couldn't tell you. I know 2 names that came up were Mayhew and Danny Black, actually.
Oh, well, those 2, I mean,
yeah,
you're in the good hands there. So.
But this was we were all still quite fresh. We were all still quite new in this.
I suppose, yeah. I think of them as older hands now, but they've not been around that long, especially with the break for COVID. I
think the most experienced in that match at the time was Mayhew. So, and he was in the car with us anyway, so it was all cool. But
did you plan in the car then?
No, we didn't know what we were going to do. We genuinely didn't know what to do. But we get to the venue and we're just everything's happening so quick, and we end up getting something done. And I'm just that whole match, I'm just thinking, oh my god, what's next? Like I'm panicking like crazy because I was still 3 months into my career, so I was like, what the fuck am I doing? I'm panicking. But again, because it was all quite short and I was overthinking things, it felt longer. But it was actually quite an easy match, and it was all right. And then
you watch it back and think, oh, that wasn't too bad.
Yeah, it was fine. It was basically indie shit.
Who was that for?
I don't think they're running anymore.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm allowed to say, so I'll just keep them quiet. Yeah.
What's the closest? Like, what's your home show? If you can get, like, what's the closest venue you've been to home? You're in an awkward position, I suppose. Like, the Resgal was close.
The closest active venue,
yeah.
Or can it be one?
Let's do one. Let's do both.
Okay, so closest active venue currently is I'd say Loppin Hall in Loughton.
That's my closest venue.
Yeah,
as well.
It's lovely. It's Loppin. It's so easy to get to. Just
if I jump in the car, man, I'm there in about 4 minutes.
Yeah, literally 2 buses. Not like 2 buses. I'm right there, and it's brilliant. The closest venue I've ever been to, DKW used to run at my school.
Oh, damn.
10-minute walk. It's like,
that's great.
It was the best. They always did Friday shows too. So I just finish up from the day, and then I would head home, have some food, and I would just like grab my suitcase, walk 10 minutes. I was in no rush.
That's banging.
I was in no rush to get there, and I still would make it like early as shit. But it was still like, it was peaceful because I'm like, there's the only way I'm going to be late is if I get killed.
My best friend at school, he lived less than 10 minutes from our school. He lived closer than anyone, mate. Maybe 4-minute walk, right? He was late every fucking day because he would leave as school started, basically.
I used to be an early, but I used to be a good kid back then. I used to be an early bird and that shit. So making it wrestling and school, I was always early. There were kids that definitely lived like 5 seconds away who were late every single time.
Yeah. I got a little experience with that. I commentate for FPW, and they started recently at Carshalton Boys College, Sports College. I can't remember the full title of the area, but Levi Muir went there, so he gets a ridiculous reception every time. Like, there's no way he's turning heel at FPW because their home venue is this venue, and all the kids, a lot of the kids who go to the shows go to the school, so there's no way they're booing another guy who went to their school.
Yeah, when we had the matches, whatever match I was in, at my school, the cheers for me. It was.
Did they announce you as were you wrestling there when you were still at school?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a madness. Man.
My fucking PE teacher saw me. my PE teacher saw me. My caretaker saw me, and a lot of the teachers at the school knew I was wrestling because word goes round.
Oh, yeah,
they couldn't stick posters in the school because it was an outside event.
Yeah.
So they couldn't, but word got round. So teachers knew, and because they knew, they would always like ask me, like, I always got asked that shit, like, oh, it's fake though. And I'm like, well,
look at this, look at my elbow.
yeah. I'm like, bro. I mean, yeah, sure, believe it, but like, if I come in with a black eye next day, you're wondering why am I not partaking in PE? Because wrestling's fake, But
I do dislike the word fake. I don't mind the term planned or choreographed.
People have gotten better. But
the term fake is so, like, it's harsh to you guys because you take bumps and you fucking put your body on the line.
Yeah.
But to use the word fake is a shitter, really.
People have gotten better. I go to a university and I study drama, so they know.
Oh, you're a proper drama kid.
Yeah. So they know that it's not fake because shit happens.
Yeah.
So they will obviously ask in a little more of a polite way, like, "Oh, it is the pre-planned," and I'm like, "That's better." Yeah, like it, but they understand because drama is very much a predetermined thing in
I
itself.
suppose you do any. It's a mixture of kind of pre-planned and improv, though, isn't it? And I suppose at drama, you must have done some improv classes and shit.
All the fucking time.
Yeah, man. Like that. So many. It feels like so many wrestlers have some kind of background in acting as well.
It helps. That's all I'm gonna say. It helps so much.
Either that or MMA, like True and Connor Mills.
My God. I mean, that also helps, but in the other way.
So you said you got started when you were still in school. So what was your first? How old are you when you did your first class?
First class, I was 14 years old.
14.
And 7 years ago, like around this time, 7 years ago, I started out at LDN Wrestling, which has had its fair shares of pros and cons. Probably more cons. But
I've heard a lot of controversial stories. I don't know. I don't know the product myself, but I've heard some controversial stories.
I mean, I went because you know,
they're primarily south as well, so that's a bit of a
I
journey for you.
wanted to start out at DKW. That's where I wanted to start out. But my mum was very against me ever joining wrestling. She was very against it, and she was one of them people who would try and scare me away from it. So whenever I'd like try and tell her, I'd receive an article later that day. Oh, a wrestler's died. Oh, wrestlers use steroids. Oh no. I'm like, okay, right. Do you see me using steroids? Do you see me doing that shit? No. Like, but she was so like worried for me because you know parents worry and
I mean, they got to, yeah.
And so you know, I managed to convince her like, okay, well, there's a school in Romford. They do like training, you know, for like an hour or two at like, you know, at this leisure centre. Could I just go there? She's like, okay, cool, right. You know, after a bit of convincing. So even though I was speaking to DKW, I spoke to Sanjay from LDN, and you know, I was asking how's the training? What's going on? You know, and I was very I'll be real. I was very eager, and I was very stubborn at the same time. And yeah, eager, stubborn, and impatient are three amazing words to describe how I started out. So I already kind of gave myself a reputation alone just from just being like that. Because I ended up
I've met you like this year, yeah. And you're the most chill guy, one of the most chill guys on the like WrestleForce roster.
I know, but like when I started, it's because like it all led to like it all comes together in the end. But when I started out, I was a huge Ospreay fan. You know, I was a huge Ospreay fan. I was a huge AJ Styles fan, and I only just learned of the Indies in 2017 because of like Kenny Omega and Kazuchika Okada. Top match, by the way. So I basically was impatient, so I made a Twitter account, and I'm like tagging Ospreay and Ricochet and I'm doing all these flips on like fucking like social media, right? And this is where I first like hear of names like Maverick Mayhew. This is where I first hear of names like Joe Lando, Danny Black. So they now know of me. LDN knows of me. DKW knows of me because now I'm just posting like flips and shit. I think one of the more memorable ones was I was practicing how to do a run and shooting star. I don't have a ring in my garden. I don't have mats in my garden. And I'd already done it on the trampoline. So the next best bet for me was to do it on the fucking grass.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, straight up.
I recorded it. I recorded it, and the thud was fucking horrible, right? But I was like 14, so I just nipped up afterwards, and the reactions, because everyone who I mentioned previously, you know, spoke to me about it, and they're like, "Damn, wow, you know, you're doing a lot." And Joe was the same. Joe did like backyard stuff, but he was able to. He had more like facilities. He had more like stuff accessible to him. I didn't, so you know. So Joe, I blame you for that one. But again, yeah, I started out LDN, but I was in the kids class because I was 14 years old, and you had to be 16 and up to actually go ahead and be in the bigger class. And I'm, again, impatient vibes, so I'm getting used to everything hella quick. You know, they're telling me do a bump, splatting down, right? They're telling me do a front bump, splatting down, flip bump, whatever.
Sounds like you were fearless as well. So like,
yeah, one thing I noticed very early on was that, I think even Sanjay said it as well, is that most of the people who are in the under 16s class tend to be like just people who enjoy this as a phase, people who just like watch WWE after like school, after like, you know, finishing a tough day at primary school. They see that and they're like, okay, I want to try this stuff, let's see what it is. Then they go to that school. So they don't really teach that much. Like they'll teach you the literal fundamentals, but they won't teach you anything more than that. Like they'll teach you like a move, and they'll teach you how to bump, they'll teach you how to roll. They'll just keep you active, and they'll keep the kids active for like 2 hours or so the parents can go off and have a smoke and maybe like deal with their affairs, you know, sign some divorce papers, whatever. So it wasn't like I wasn't getting anywhere once I got the basics down. And you know, the impatience in me really wanted me to, you know, and you know, you had Alan Lee Travis taking the class too, who's also quite a sound guy. But I was still like, you know, I wanted more. And the over 16s were starting to notice me as well, because I was doing some high spots and shit. You know, I'd be doing like cartwheels, I'd be doing like head nips and stuff, you know, and because I knew I could do it and I wanted to prove that I can do something. And then fast forward like a few months later, I managed to finally convince my mum, let me go training at DKW. So I go training there for the first time. I go in the ring for the first time. It's pretty good.
Who else came out of Dropkicks? I mean, you've had some big names come out there, right?
A lot of names. I could go through a majority of the names.
Just list off a few for us.
I mean, I know Wade Barrett is one of the main ones that comes up, and he kind of shouts out DKW most of the time. Nick Aldis, he started out there, had a couple of, I don't know if they were bangers or not. Marty Skull, who's, you know, a name we don't really talk about, but is still somewhere on the scene. I think he started out as well. Elton Prince started out there, as far as I've been told. I know Peck and Playboy Hakan. I don't think he started there, but I know he was quite frequent there when he started out wrestling. Mark True as well, and also El Nino.
So I was gonna draw some comparisons with yourself, and not just Nino, but all of the Bryans.
Yeah,
all started very young, especially Leland.
Oh,
I mean, Leland. I saw pre-COVID. I saw Leland give Michael Oku a Canadian Destroyer, and he must have been. So, you know, he's 16 now. We're 2024.
Good Lord.
He must have been 11.
Yeah. Like, I mean, those are the names I remember. I don't remember seeing all the Bryan brothers, but I remember seeing Nino when I started out. And I remember everyone was hyping up Nino like crazy back then. And he was good back then. Like, you know,
I will shout Nino's name to the heavens. He's the only two-time Purpose champion, and there is a reason for that. He's unreal, man.
One of the best, and you know, from looking at him physically, you think there's no way, but then, you know, you get proven wrong because he can do pretty much a lot of shit.
You know, this little guy, how's he going to fight me? And then he hits you with a poison rod.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh shit!
It's like a lot of shit you would not believe, and I just know, like, I mean, if WWE aren't like, or you know, AEW or TNA, if they ain't signed him in 5 years, then something went wrong in the making.
Man, he's about 22 now, I think 23.
Yeah,
and he's got so much time to develop, and he's already so good. When people, like, as someone who co-runs a promotion, I often get asked for feedback, and depending on the wrestler, there's a handful of people I say go and watch their matches because I think you can learn from them. And the smaller guys who do some high flying and stuff like that, and maybe some technical stuff, it's all I go say, watch Nino. Go and watch Nino, because Nino, not only does he look amazing when he's doing his moves, he sells amazingly, but he doesn't just sell injury, he sells fatigue and endurance, and yeah, the boy's unreal, man.
He's a crazy lad. But I remember seeing him a lot when I think I actually saw his debut as well. Yeah, I saw his debut. He wrestled at DKW in a Rumble match, and you know, he met Mayhew in the ring for the first time in that Rumble match, and they did a little sequence together. And that's literally where it all started out for me. So all these names who are like big now, I probably most likely saw them like when they were just starting out. And I'm not trying to like toot my own horn, because there's nothing to toot. But it's just I remember seeing them quite young, and I was impatient. So I was just thinking to myself, that should be me. It should be me. It should be me. But you know,
well, you're still grinding at it.
Yeah,
you took a break, didn't you?
Yeah, no, I straight up, like, you know, I went about. I mean, I managed to get my debut within like 8 months of starting out training. Within 8 months, and I was able to, mainly because I managed to get the venue at my school, and they're like, wicked. Okay, well, yeah, we'll give you a match. You know, just a quick one, just squash match. I'm like, okay, that's fine. First match was against Jordan Said, actually. He's another name that came out of DKW. I should have mentioned.
We don't talk about Jordan Said. He's terrible.
Oh Lord.
No, I love Jordan.
Oh Lord.
But kayfabe, he's terrible.
Oh my. No, I just remember it was my first opponent. There's no, you know, no matter what happens in the near future, like I can't work around that. My first opponent was Jordan Said, greased up in baby oil.
Oh, I ain't surprised.
Like, you know, six years ago. So this is how it all started out. And I remember his baby oil got everywhere, because I was about to hit a move on the top rope, and I felt my foot slip, and I'm like, if I slip on my first match, I'm going to cry, because the move I was going to hit was a shooting star.
That is not surprising that Jordan fucking baby oiled the ring.
So I was like, if this motherfucker, if this rope goes, I'm done.
I love Jordan, right? He's a good buddy of mine.
He's the best.
But kayfabe, I can't endorse him.
He's wild. That's all I've been told.
But he's wild in real life. Like...
That's what I was told. That's what I was fucking told coming back. I'm like, I mean, I already knew he was quite a crazy geese, like, starting out. Like, you know, he's one of the bigger names of DKW. And then he just got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, to the point now where I came back after 4 years, and then everyone was like, yo, like, Jordan's insane. And I'm like,
everyone loves it. Like Jordan was on the very first Purpose show. He didn't wrestle him, but he's tagging with RJ Singh as the E-City Sovereigns, but he managed him. That's when he used to come out in a suit. Now he comes out in pink tracksuit bottoms.
That suit was incredible. You would see him everywhere in the suit. Every place, every show he went to, he was always in a suit, and then he transitioned into tracksuits, and that was the start of the rise of Jordan Saeed. But
speaking of Jordan, he's also tagging in other places with your tag partner. So
yes.
Recently, Kian has joined the E-City Sovereigns in Purpose.
Oh my!
And also, I noticed in WrestleForce, whenever he's deciding he's not going to be nice to people, he drops that he's an E-City Sovereign. So he's Kian's dark side. He's the E-City Sovereign side.
You know what? It's fine. Everyone's got to have, a bit of good's always got to have a bit of bad. Everything's got to balance out. So I don't blame you. I do very much the same thing in other promotions too. Whenever the devil needs to rise, then the devil rises. But WrestleForce is my neutral zone.
How did you and Kian come about as a tag?
I swear to God, it was literally when I came back. Literally, I started out WrestleForce at 15 as well. Everything was going great. I had matches with all these names who are now currently big. I wrestled Michael Oku a good few times. I wrestled Connor Mills a good few times. Connor Mills I've wrestled in singles 3 times. And he still goes down as one of my favourite matches so far.
He still was semi-regular at WrestleForce, right? So there's a good chance that you could end up in there again with him.
No, but there was something about 2019 Mills. I'm not saying anything against him now, but 2019 Mills, there was something about him. He had that dog in him. I don't know what it was.
I think he's got a different dog in him now, though.
Yeah,
I think he's a monster
for
now.
certain. But 2019, at the time, he had just wrestled Swerve Strickland. He had wrestled Jody Fleisch, and he was having all these big matches. It was a true peak for Mills, and then I somehow slip into that peak, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm wrestling Mills. What the fuck?
I think I know what that is about Mills. It's back then he was trying to prove how good he was.
Yeah,
you don't need to do that no more. Everyone knows how good Connor Mills is.
This guy was insane. He was he was my hardest battle, because it was without a doubt. This guy would push you to the limits, and you can either sink or swim. And every time I managed to stay afloat, just barely, but it was so great. And I just remember the last match we had together was the end of 2019 at WrestleForce Raleigh, my favorite show, because we had pyro, there was Titantrons, it was fucking huge, and it was full of title as well. So everything was on the fucking line here. And
I'm gonna have to go watch that match on YouTube.
I have highlights that I upload on YouTube, and then I have the full match unlisted on my phone somewhere, but I haven't uploaded the full thing. We'd already wrestled each other 2 times, so we weren't unfamiliar with each other's what we can and can't do. And so we just went off and did all this shit, and then we just I remember the ending was fucking class. We did a sort of handspring into a fucking Canadian destroyer. I don't know how we did that, but I don't think I can do that now because I've put on some. And then the end of the match, I go for a shooting star press as he moves the ref out the way whilst I'm midair, and then proceeds to hit me with a low blow as I land. It was incredible.
Yeah, Mills, even whether he's on the side of good or evil, he's always willing to take a low road. So
oh, without a doubt. But it worked out nicely, and then it was a good match to look back on, genuinely.
One of your favourite opponents? Who would you say your favourite opponent of all time?
Oh wow, that's quite a difficult one. I mean, I would say Mills, but Mills is it's insane. But I mean, favorite of all time, because there's been so many.
Or who do you like working on the reg? Who's easy? Who's fun?
Oh my, I don't know. It's been a while. I'd say a name that's really, really fun and easy to work for me. Is Mark True, because we had this phase in WrestleForce where we were both kids, so we would always be put together on every single show. And there was a week where we wrestled each other 5 times in a single fucking
Is Mark
week.
your most person you've wrestled?
Yes,
individual, yeah.
100%. Name it, fate shows, fucking training shows, fucking actual shows. We were wrestling everywhere. At one point, in 2018, 1 month alone, I'm pretty sure we wrestled each other about 10 times, 10, 11 times in that month. And so I was just right, well, okay. And it came so easy to work with him, because we were just let's just do what we did last time, let's just do what we did last time. Add a little bit of flavor there, but it was really fun. I mean, I wrestled him recently. I mean, I wrestled him fucking last month in a tag match. But in a singles, I wrestled him in a camp show. But again, we mucked around. It was a good time. But yeah, Mills also one of my best opponents, I'd say. But favorite, Mark True, without a doubt. But yeah, WrestleForce was going great. 2020 rolled round, and then my last opponent before COVID at WrestleForce was Jordan Said. And I mean,
that's like a weird bookend for you, isn't it?
Meanwhile, yeah, it was.
At one point, you probably felt that was your last match as well.
Well, I mean, meanwhile, at the same time, I was also working DKW like heavily because I was like, I'm juggling both. Like, I'm not trying. Like, that's the thing. Like, I've always wanted to, DKW is where it all started. So I cannot go on and not mention DKW because that's where everything happened, and it was a beautiful thing. So we just, we would always like kind of do the most randomest of shit at DKW. Like, I was always putting the angles, and I like stories and shit. I love story angles. I love doing that stuff, and I started out, facing names like, Jordan, Tony Kemp. Who was another? I think I faced Damien one time, Jack Torino, Taylor James. Like, I'm facing all these names before they go out and end up being big on the scene. And that was how it all started for me. And then, slowly but surely, I had some kind of star power that got me up to be one of the favorites of DKW. And then I ended up just having killer matches there because I was doing so much. I was getting so much reps that it became easier now to just kind of like put on a fucking banger. So I ended up just doing more and more to the point where I became sort of a mainstay of DKW and became like proper. Everyone wanted to wrestle me at one point, but then I went away and then I ran away.
So you took a bit of a break over COVID, right? And then post COVID, you decided not to come back straight away.
Yeah.
What drew you back?
I was away for so long, and I was just, a lot of stuff was going on, and I was so, I was so certain on just not coming back. I was like, I'm not gonna go back. Like, I mean, I had my fun. I don't know if I can do it as well. Like, I'm not gonna say I felt old, but I was like, I definitely won't be able to move the same way as I did when I was like 16 or 17. So I was like, okay, well, I don't know what I'm gonna do. But there was like a few people who would always have like an open door for me whether I was to come back, and some of the names, you had Ollie Peace, you had Lucas Jackson, but the one name that came up more than anyone when it came to trying to bring me back was motherfucking Joe Lando. This guy would like non-stop text me, like, anytime I like posted a memory of me wrestling, anytime I like, even mentioned like, oh damn, I did this a few years ago, it would just be a text from Joe just like, come back.
Bless him.
Nah,
I've not met Joe. I've only recently met Danny, but CPF is taking off, man.
He is, yeah. No, Joe's brilliant. Like, literally, he's really wanted me back. And then again, I was studying abroad for university, and I was in California, and I was able to finally see wrestling at an appropriate time instead of like staying up till 2 a.m. having to watch wrestling. And I was slowly growing the passion back because, hearing about Cody Rhodes returning, I was like, holy shit, this guy left WWE because they were treating him like shit. Now he's like a fucking big guy. They're letting him keep all his shit from the indies, and it's like, wow, this is some kind of breakthrough. So that's what kind of started bringing me back slowly. And then 2023, was quite a year because I heard about Cody and Reigns, Money in the Bank in London, and then the one thing that made me proper like start watching it regularly was CM Punk returning, because Punk is and always will be my favorite wrestler. I don't care what people say.
I was a big fan, especially when I was younger. You were a solidly WWE guy then?
I started
not much AEW or any.
I started out WWE, and when I was 9, and then fell out of love with it, fell back in love with it, and then I found out about the indie scenes, and then I started watching more like ROH. I started watching more, not really TNA as much.
You missed out. Although you might have been too young when I was a 2004 TNA guy.
Oh,
Bound for Glory 2004, man.
Peak TNA. Oh, good lord. I mean, obviously, I watched the highlights on YouTube of like AJ Styles and stuff, but like,
have you watched AJ, Daniels, and Joe Triple Threat?
Yes,
that match is unreal,
incredible. Like, I just, obviously, a lot of this stuff was just me kind of like opening the vault and checking this stuff out. I was never watching it live because I probably was barely crawling, so I never really came up. But I was really in love with like the indie scene because of like the slow rise of it, and then obviously hearing Cody Rhodes was in the indie scene, I'm like, oh, this is more popular now. And I heard a UK indie scene, Progress and all that shit, but yeah, it was always WWE to start with, so Punk was the guy. And I always said to myself, if Punk comes back, I'll think about coming back. So he came back, I'm like, holy fuck. And I'm in America, I'm watching WrestleMania in Hawaii, and I'm watching WrestleMania at like 12 at noon. Like, literally, like, it's the afternoon, I'm watching WrestleMania. Meanwhile, people are breaking their sleep patterns just to watch it. And I'm just like, this is the best time of my life. And then it was at that point where I was like, fuck it, let's go back. I'm in America, found a wrestling school, went to train with them for a bit, picked up exactly where I left off, came right back to England after my visa was up. I went back to DKW training. I immediately got booked for a match, main event. I'm like, okay, cool, let's do something. I wrestled Axel Woods for the title. I lost, but I gave him a match. And then, we started coming back and we started going full demon mode. Like, I know I'm not the exact same as I was like however many years ago, but then I just said to myself, hey, I'm back, and that's the main thing. And again, like Joe Lando really wanted me back, so he was always telling me about Play Fight wrestling school in Woolwich, sort of south East London.
That's Cara Noir, right?
Yeah. I see Cara Noir there, Nina Samuels. So I went there because obviously Joe kept asking me to come along. I'm like, okay, fine, I'll come on down. So, he was happy to see me again, and then we're just trying out new stuff. And then that's where I figured out I could do a fuck ton more than I could 4 years ago. So I'm now like doing all these bigger moves.
You're stronger, like physically stronger. Is that the?
I guess it's just there's a resilience. That there was a resilience, and there was also just something. I wouldn't say I don't know if I'm stronger, but I do like to think that there's more in me that I would happily do that I was not confident enough to do however many years ago. So
no plans to leave again?
Actually, I'm at uni, so that's the thing. I'm always putting university first. My personal life, that was the one thing that was a struggle, and the reason why I kind of took time off, because I was like, my personal life needs fixing. I need to get something right. I need to get shit working, because if I don't, and I just put all my eggs in one basket, they're going to crack, and there's nothing I can do. So I took the time off. I ended up going back, and I dealt with my personal life. I'm at university. I'm happy now. I have a lot of friends, and I'm very close to my family now. And I just thought to myself, right, well, if I'm back in wrestling, I want to make sure that the line isn't blurred. Like, I want to make sure my personal life is good, and I want to make sure my wrestling life is good.
Oh, man, that's a grown-up outlook for someone your age. You're 21, right?
Yeah, I'm trying my best, not to get too involved in the drama and the goss of wrestling, because that is the stuff of toxic bullshit. And for me, I'm not a big guy in wrestling for sure. I'm barely noticed, but for me, I just like to just keep myself away, and unless my name's involved, I have no part of any fucking drama that you want to start.
Oh man, that's good.
So
let's end on a positive note. Then we are nearly in Southend for this match.
Wow.
Let's have a quick word about your tag partner, Kian Camron.
Kian Camron was
someone
genuinely
started after COVID, right?
He was.
Yeah. I used to do streams with David Francisco, and Kian would watch them before him training and stuff.
Kian Camron was the one name that really came up a lot when I was away, because I was also speaking to Mark and Kieran a lot when I was away too, and they were telling me about this kid, and they're like, yo, have you heard about this kid that looks like you? No. Who the fuck's he?
So that's where you were paired together, right?
Oh, yeah.
You've got a similar look.
Straight
similar
up.
Haircut and stuff.
Yeah, no, Ollie was telling me about it too. Like, when I said I'd come back, he's like, oh, you need to see Kian Camron. I'm like, who is Kian Camron? Like, this is just a name for me. This is just a name that's being thrown at me, and I don't know what it is. And then I'm seeing some of his matches on YouTube, and then Mark actually showed me a comment that was deleted soon after, and it said, oh, has Jaden Williams returned? And I felt so bad, because I'm like, if everyone's comparing this kid to me, I feel like shit. Because it's like, obviously it's not me. Obviously, there's a slight difference, in face and
you're a bit taller.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say, aside from haircut, you don't really look that similar.
No, we don't.
You've got a similar haircut. And that is
if you were to stare from a distance when we're in our gear,
maybe.
Yes.
You got the matching blue gear, which was a coincidence, right?
Genuine. No one planned for that. And I think people thought it was like camo. Kian's ain't camo. Kian's more of a spray paint sort of thing, so it looks like camo, but mine was a camo design that I went for. So, and then I left, so obviously I didn't wear it much, and then he showed up, and then he wrestled a lot, and it just slowly started coming to me that, like, okay, I'm gonna meet this guy soon. So I ended up actually seeing him for the first time at a pub. Actually, we were out in pub, all the wrestlers and whatnot, and immediately when everyone sees me, they're like, oh shit, he's back. But then besides that, they're all pointing to Kian, and they're like, "Yo, get it!" So our first interaction, me and Kian, because everyone wanted it, was us doing a Spider-Man pointing move. That was our first hello. That was our first interaction. It's because everyone was like, "Yo, you guys should do Spider-Man meme, bruv. You should do this Spider-Man pointing thing, innit?" So I'm just like, "Oh, fuck, yeah, sure, okay." So I never probably got to speak to him that day. I never actually got to speak to him properly. But that was how it all stared out.
What's great though is you two have become such a good tag team. Like you've got a little bit of chemistry.
We wrestled a few times in singles belts, and them matches were insane because it's like both of our abilities are very similar, and what we do is very similar. So the match we were putting on was just bangers. Like I think we only had one singles match at a show, an actual show, not a fake show or anything. And even that match was something else, in my opinion. And people loved it. And his whole family there was there to watch it as well. So they loved it too.
That's cool, man. We're at Thorpe Hall. We're here for the show.
Woo.
Anything you want to plug? There is Ollie Pace's van.
I mean, what can I plug? I'll plug, obviously WrestleForce. Go watch WrestleForce and stuff. I'm also going to plug DKW, although I can't really plug shows that are happening now because whenever this comes out, they probably already happened. But check out DKW because I'll probably be there. Check out WrestleForce because I'll probably be there. And just stay happy, stay out of drama.
What's your socials? Give me your
I only have one social. I have an Instagram. My Instagram is Jaden, spelled Jaden, like Jaden Smith. __ PW.
You're such a drama kid looking straight at the camera.
I've been taught very well. I've
obviously not been driving, not been able to look at the camera, but I assume you've been doing that the whole fucking time.
Yeah, Skate would be proud of me. I got all my teachers, they'd be proud of me right now.
Thank you so much for listening or watching this episode of Making Towns, and thank you again to my guest Jaden Williams. If you want to follow Jaden on the socials, he is at Jaden_PW on Instagram. If you want to follow Making Towns, we are at Making Towns Pod on Instagram and at makingtownspod.bsky.social on Blue Sky. I also co-run Purpose Wrestling. We run every month in Wimbledon in London. You can follow Purpose at Purpose Wrestling on Instagram, at WrestlePurpose on X, and at purposewrestling.bsky.social on Blue Sky. I also have another podcast called Cult Classic Society, all about pop culture, and even a side series about Doctor Who where me and my buddy Tim go over every episode of Doctor Who. You can find the socials for that at CC Society Pod on Instagram and at ccsocietypod.bsky.social on Blue Sky. And if you want to follow me, I am at bdavies_creative on Instagram and at bdavies-creative on Blue Sky. On the next episode of Making Towns, my guest was supposed to be David Francisco, but I got him started on whether a hot dog is a sandwich or not, and he hasn't stopped for about 14 hours, so it doesn't seem like the best idea. So instead, next time, my guest will be True Grit, Connor Mills.
Toxic in my face, no way, you don't want him, yeah.
Don't try to drain my energy, the enemy is everything. It's mentally, unhealthily, spreading like a rare disease, but I won't let it get to me. I don't need your therapy, I can leave a legacy of leading by intensity. Come on, we can fight this, freedom is priceless, spread just like a virus, living in a crisis. Do you feel courageous? Do you seek